Hi guys, welcome to Coturnix Corner. My name's Terry, and today I wanted to talk to you a little bit about a new brooder system that I've been working on. If you've seen any of my older videos, you know that I've been using the plastic tubs as brooders. Basically, it's just a 106 quart Sterilite plastic tub with a hardware cloth top that I made for it, and then I put wood chips in the bottom of that as a substrate for the chicks. The problem I've been having with those is that once the chicks reach about a week to a week and a half old, they're pooping so much that the wood chips become saturated, and they pretty much need to be cleaned on a daily basis to keep the smell down and keep the flies out. So what I came up with was a plywood framed brooder that measures 32 inches deep and 5 foot wide. I also needed something that would fit, that would be able to be moved out of the way, so it wasn't going to block the main floorway in my shop here. So what I did was I built a brooder that fit nicely underneath my cages, and it's got a 1/4 inch hardware cloth floor in it, so the manure just falls through the hardware cloth onto these trays down here, and I'll bring you in a little bit closer in a minute and show you those. The doors, there's 2 doors that are hinged on this side that open inward, and the light that I'm using is the same standard 8-inch clamp lamp that I was using on the plastic brooders. It's got a 100-watt bulb in it, and that bulb sits about 11.5 to 12 inches above the floor of the brooder, which is exactly what it was in the plastic brooder. Also, for colder days, I built these lids that can sit on top of the brooder, and I've got a hole cut out into it that my lamp can fit through, and that'll just kind of help to hold the heat in a little bit better. I'm going to say 90% of the times I won't have to use these, but in the last 2 weeks we've had temperatures dip down into the low 40s, and for us down here in Florida that's pretty chilly. So that was just added insurance in case I needed to warm the incubator up, or the brooder up a little bit. Okay, so let me bring you in a little bit closer and I will show you the inside of the brooder and give you a little bit better idea how I assembled this thing. Okay, let me show you the inside of the brooder real quick. Basically, starting from the top, we have our 8-inch clamp lamp with a 100-watt bulb, and then our door is just a 1x2 framework with a 1/2-inch hardware cloth stapled to the bottom side of it. The door hinges, I just drilled a couple holes on each side and ran some 2-inch long screws into the 2x2, and that gives it something to pivot on. And I've also got a 2x2 on the other side, which gives the door something to rest on when it's closed. Okay, so inside, basically for water, we're using your standard poultry watering cup with the small basin so the chicks can't get wet and get chilled. The entire brooder measures 5 foot wide and 32 inches deep. And I've also got a center divider that divides both halves of the brooder. That divider is removable in case I want to do a full hatch of the same age chicks. On the floor of the brooder, for the first 2 days, I'll put down this drawer liner material. And what that does is kind of helps the chicks get a little bit better footing and helps to build the leg muscles. But on the second day, I'll take this stuff out and the birds can just walk on the 1/4 inch hardware cloth. Underneath that is the clean out tray, and I don't know if you can be able to see it from there, but it just slides out, and it's the exact same clean out tray that I use on all my cages, and there's one for each side of the brooder, and I'll give you a better shot of that. I don't know if you can see it too well, but inside the brooder there's a center divider that is held in with 2 screws on each side. I can take that divider out if I want to do a bigger hatch of all the same birds. But for now, I wanted 2 different sides. That way I can keep, you know, younger birds on one side and a little bit older birds on the other. Also, what I did on the inside of the brooder was I epoxied all the walls. I had some leftover epoxy from a boat project that I was working on, and I just epoxied the whole inside of the walls. That way I can wheel the brooder outside and pressure wash the entire thing, and not have to worry about the plywood absorbing moisture and whatnot. Okay, so let me grab the camera and I will give you a better shot of the outside of the brooder and the clean out tray setup. Okay, so here's the outside of the brooder. You can see that the plywood walls go all the way down to the bottom of the brooder on both sides and the back. And on the front, we have a little bit of an opening, and that's so we can slide our clean out trays in and out. There's 2 trays that sit side by side, one for each side of the brooder. And probably the most convenient thing for me is I put casters on the bottom of the brooder, and that's so I can slide it in and out from underneath my existing cages. Also, the brooder is 32 inches wide, and I can wheel it outside my door. I've got a 36-inch door on the back of the shop, and it'll fit through the door. I can take it out there, pressure wash it, and get it all cleaned up, bring it back in for the next batch of chicks. Okay guys, so there's my new brooder for the upcoming year. If I make any modifications or changes to it, I'll be sure to let you know. Hope you found this video useful, and if you plan on building a new brooder, hopefully some of these ideas can be incorporated into yours. I want to thank you guys for joining me today. If you're not already subscribed to the channel, please do so. It helps me out, and you'll get a notification on any new and upcoming videos. So thanks a lot guys, and we'll see you on the next one.